Hey, we're back with another episode of Before You Buy, the show where we give you some straight-up gameplay and our first impressions of the latest games releasing. It's been a long 10 years since the original release of Rainbow Six Siege, a multiplayer shooter with a core gameplay mode so good, it's kept a community of players coming back for literally a decade. And Siege just released its biggest update yet, an update that adds a new gameplay mode and a bunch of tweaks that have an infamously picky community divided. Is Rainbow Six Siege X better than ever? Is it harder to say than ever? Absolutely. Or has Ubisoft's sweaty online shooter fumbled after a decade of service? Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, we're checking out Rainbow Six Siege X to see whether it's worth buying in 2025. We can answer that question right now because Rainbow Six Siege X is totally free to play in a way that doesn't feel as predatory as it could. We have to recommend not buying it so you can experience the starting stuff first. There's so many operators, maps, weapon loadouts, and tutorials to play through. It feels like purchasing anything is kind of jumping the gun. Rainbow Six Siege gives you quick match, unranked, and dual front modes for free. And while the website doesn't go into the details, you'll start with over a dozen operators unlocked, every single map available, and deathmatch mode once you do some leveling up. There's also a custom mode to play with your own set of rules, so it's not like Ubisoft is being stingy. You can earn enough in-game currency to purchase extra operators pretty early as well. Took a few hours of playing for us to have enough in-game funny money called Renown to buy 4 more operators. Not a bad deal for a game that's totally free, but you may still want to plop down money if you really care about Siege, and we'll explain that later. As a total beginner to Siege, the first hours are absolutely overwhelming because the game stacks on tutorial missions, tooltips, story videos, and battle pass advertisements, of course. The developers actually provide a pretty comprehensive set of tutorials to get you started, including optional extra map exploration modes that specifically teach you the landmarks for every map. Is useful when matches can last less than 5 minutes for sure. Some of these maps do get confusing pretty fast, and exploration isn't really encouraged when you're on a tight time limit to defuse or defend a bomb, but the game does a great job of easing new players into the basics without holding your hand too much. You can choose to ignore all the tutorials if you're a veteran, but we're complete noobs. The only thing this game doesn't do is recommend what operators to choose first. That would be helpful because there's just so many of them. The sheer number and variety of different characters is both a blessing and a curse. All the heroes with unique gadgets guarantee you have plenty of different strats to experiment with, but you'll also need to memorize what these weirdos can do. Some of the premium DLC operators, which cost more in-game currency than others, also seem way better than your bog standard starting characters. There's truly devious DLC operators here as well. There's one-way mirrors, giant shields, deployable drones. There's so much to learn here. And even having said all that, we don't feel this is a pay-to-win situation. It gets dangerously close for some of the more expensive operators, but the basic starter operators can be really useful too. One early unlockable operator deploys armor to your allies to collect. In our games, that extra bit of armor turned out to be a total game changer. You have your hands full memorizing the gadgets, the guns, the operator abilities. It's just a baffling amount of information. And it wasn't uncommon for us as not experienced players. And, you know, it's not like I've never played Rainbow Six Siege, but like it's also not one of my regulars. But it wasn't uncommon for new gadgets that we've just never seen before to pop up, and we just don't know what to do with them. In a game with that has no single player to ease you in, like a single tutorial mission against a brain-dead AI, you're thrown in the deep end fast. Sink or swim, Ubisoft says, and you're gonna sink in the early game for sure. That's one of the big reasons to buy the Elite or Ultimate editions. The unlockable operators are very good. Unlocking more operators with more options is a pretty good incentive to slap down some cash. Hey, speaking of slapping, did you know that not very many of you, relatively speaking, have slapped the subscribe button? I mean, there's a lot of you. It's like 8.3 million people who have subscribed to this here channel, but those people understand that's the easiest way to see new gameranx videos all the time, and they miss way less of them. So you should join them, 8.3 million strong and subscribe. But anyway, like I was saying, I wouldn't call this a pay-to-win situation because the shooting is kind of the great equalizer in this game compared to faster-paced games like Call of Duty. And that's by design. Rainbow Six is a tactical shooter that rewards smart play as much as twitchy shooting skills. So the best gadgets in the world aren't going to save you from a bullet to the noggin or a smartly placed countermeasure. Sometimes the great gadget can be rendered totally useless, making it not so great at all, actually. Because every session in Siege does play out differently, you know? Your operators change the way you approach an objective. You can use breaching charges that destroy fortified walls, or hammers that quickly smash through wooden walls, or launch drones that mark enemy locations. A well-hidden drone can change the outcome of a match completely, and using tools to spot and destroy those drones is really essential for defenders. It's an incredible little system, and the main attack and defend game mode, it's been popular over a decade for a very good reason. It's just really fun. It's an enhanced version of the bombing missions from Counter-Strike. Destroying certain walls, setting up defenses, smartly breaching through those defenses is really tense, and it's really rewarding. Each session takes only a few minutes, and you do die very quickly. Death is permanent per round, so you won't be respawning until your team is wiped or the enemies are down. Fans swear by this mode because all those factors, the destructibility, the gadgets, surveillance, the shooting, they make something that's really magical and unpredictable. The only thing you'll be able to predict is campers hiding in corners, but that's the nature of the game. This is a game that definitely rewards camping. You'll often find multiple defenders clustered in a corner laying on their bellies. This is where a simple frag grenade really comes in handy. Doesn't matter how many special operators those guys have if they're blown up by one of those. You can also shoot enemies in their exposed feet, which is a pretty funny way to eliminate opponents. But also, Rainbow Six Siege adds a lot more to the maps. They give you more things to shoot. It's just interesting. Controversially, X adds more hazards to the maps. Fire extinguishers, when shot, generate like a plume of white smoke that blocks vision, and these, they can't be moved. There's also steam pipes that shoot fire or eventually explode when shot. The jets of flame create damaging barriers that can do a good job scaring off attackers. These hazards are a fun, ultimately inconsequential addition, but we do understand why they're pissing off veteran players. There are areas of a map where attackers can activate smoke grenades on a whim. In our experience, these hazards really only play an accidental part. Most of the time, they're pretty ignorable and are ignored. If you really, really don't like them as a defender, just shoot them during the prep phase. I mean, you're going to shoot so much other stuff anyways. Why not? And that's another detail totally new to Siege X. All the maps have been upgraded with new, more detailed graphics. The layouts are the same, but the textures are sharper. Everything just looks better. We tested the game on an older machine, and Siege still ran smoothly and looked pretty great, too. So there's no doubt it's clearly well optimized in the last 10 years, and it's very worth commending when games like Call of Duty just get more and more bloated as they slather on more Battle Pass junk. And Ubisoft isn't exactly the best publisher for keeping games alive and relatively bug-free. Siege, definitely the exception here, though. Joining a game, it's been a breeze. There's plenty of players playing right now. Matchmaking's quick. We only experienced a little lag while matchmaking, a few little hitches. Mostly the game runs really smooth, though. Joining a playlist, straightforward. You're going to be able to mess with operator customization or hop into the shooting range for practice while you're waiting, which we didn't wait for very long. Server situation for Siege, very strong, and that's the mode we're here for. Core Siege is the engine that keeps the game going, but the 10th anniversary updates adds a secondary mode, Dual Front, the second pillar mode, I guess. Adds another layer of complexity, and it's a controversial inclusion that the community seems to have mixed feelings about. Dual Front is a 6v6 mode with two teams fighting across a much larger map, capturing points along a route to reach the enemy base. It's a much longer game mode, and you're free to select any of the operators, and you'll get respawns periodically. Each control point set up like a mini core Siege map with various floors and entry points you'll be defending or breaching. And that way, it still feels like Rainbow Six Siege. And there's definitely something fun about seeing operators that are normally on different sides joining forces here. You have even more control over weird strategies, and the meta is evolving as we speak. If we could get into more games, maybe it'd be evolving quicker. I don't know. Core Siege definitely is quick, takes less than a minute to join. Dual Front can be a long wait when it's not peak hours, though. We don't know if that's a Ubisoft server issue or what. At least Dual Front does give more opportunities to earn kills with much less stake. A single death doesn't make or break a match. You'll have more room to play around with operators that you don't normally have. Don't use the shield without realizing it can't actually kill anybody in melee, though. Learn more about operators before diving in. Dual Fronts is a cool addition, even if it feels a little like a third arm. I don't know if we really need it, but it's there. And it's good. It just doesn't need to be there. And we'd say the same thing about the Battle Pass, but that's the whole reason the game exists. Rainbow Six Siege is an engine for selling customization content. And like every modern multiplayer game, there's a Battle Pass with tiers you'll level up to unlock seasonal content that leaves the storefront forever if you don't start playing now. The game starts up a Battle Pass animated cutscene to advertise whatever's going on in the story. It doesn't matter. Trying to provide some vague characterization to a bunch of mass military people, it just doesn't matter. The Battle Pass feels even more unnecessary here than in games like Fortnite, where the skins are intrinsically tied to how much fun you're having. Rainbow Six Siege makes skins feel almost like intrusions in the naturally fun gameplay. And in the early stages of the game, especially right now, with so many new players jumping on, you won't see that many skins in the first place. Sure, there are Assassin's Creed guys running around, but this game is not built with immersion breaking in mind. Even with alternate skins, most of the characters look like tier 1 operators. They might be wearing a cowboy hat instead of a headset, but whatever. The skins are optional, and it's the operators that really matter. And there is over 50 of them in the game. That's the real meat of the unlockable content and why you might want to upgrade. Upgrading to the Elite or Ultimate Edition gives you more operators, period. The Elite Edition gives instant access to 16 additional operators, and Ultimate just gives you all of them. And it's honestly a steal because buying them individually does cost real money. Unlocking all of them is technically possible with in-game currency that you will earn for playing. Like, we earned enough to unlock the 1,000 renown tier characters pretty quickly, but the premium operators cost 10,000 or more, and that will take hours and hours of grinding just for one operator unlock. There's so many soldiers to try already that we never really felt it was necessary to get all of them. Unlock the ones you really want and forget the rest, but Ultimate Edition is always there if you really want them all, and all your progress carries over to whatever edition you purchase. There's no penalty for upgrading later, unless you want to start ranked mode right away, which is unlocked instantly in the Elite Edition. You'll have to play for a while before you really encounter the legendarily toxic community, though. Ubisoft has been trying to combat negativity for a long time, just like it's trying to counter all those cheaters, and while we didn't encounter any cheaters, the community is rife with reports of wall hackers and aimbots with video proof. In our experience, players weren't too bad either, but we haven't risen up in ranked mode, to be fair. That's where the sweaty gameplay comes into full effect. Just keep in mind, if you don't like an angry dude yelling at you for picking up the wrong spawn point, you probably will encounter that. Stick to quick match if you want to keep things casual, or start verbal fistfights in ranked. Go ahead, it's whatever you want. Rainbow Six Siege has stuck around for a reason, though. It's an awesome game, full stop. The lack of any coherent story, basic hero characters, sluggish gameplay, these things cannot hold back the beating heart of the game. Core Siege mode is so dense and unpredictable, it deserves a platform forever. It's a game mode that keeps players coming back, and no other game on the market replicates it. The same day one players have been grinding for 10 years straight on Siege because it's just that much fun. If you haven't tried it yourself, there's really no reason not to. Rainbow Six Siege X is available through Steam, doesn't require a Ubisoft account or an external launcher to start playing. Thank freaking God. You'll have essentially the entire game open to you from the start. It's kind of incredible how much you're getting here. If you're into tactical shooters and aren't afraid of losing matches when you learn the ropes, this is a game we can easily recommend. It's among the best. But what do you think? Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. So click subscribe. Don't forget to enable notifications. And as always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at Falcon the Hero. We'll see you next time right here on gameranx.